going on, guys? So today we're going to be talking about what is the difference between a hair transplant and SMP. So we got a couple things right here. I have my notes just so I can not wing this, and I really want to make sure I touch on every single topic. So let's go ahead and start with the first one. So in terms of the risk of SMP versus a hair transplant, the thing is with a hair transplant, a lot of the times it is not going to be a one-time thing. Now, I've had a lot of clients, just me being in the nature of, the whole hair loss industry. I've had a lot of clients that have told me some pretty crazy horror stories, but I'm not gonna go into all of those. I'm just gonna go into the what are the average places you go to get a hair transplant. What are you gonna really go through? So from what I know, the main thing is you're gonna go get a surgery. It's gonna be somewhere out of town or in your local area, and the risk when it comes to that, it really depends on where you go. So if you're gonna go somewhere where it's not that reputable, then I would highly recommend to go where there is someone or one person in the clinic, a hair doctor, or someone who is very reputable. The reason why is because this is a really invasive surgery. This is something that can it can technically, on the paper, whenever you do start, you have to sign a contract and everything because at the end of the day, there's life-threatening situations and risks that can put you in that spot when you go with a hair transplant. So you really want to make sure you're going somewhere that it is reputable. And in terms of the actual procedure, same thing. This is something that you do not want to go cheap with. So if you are gonna go with a hair transplant, go somewhere where it's really reputable. In terms of the scalp micropigmentation, also really depends. So it really depends on the artist. And the reason why I'm saying is because right now we're having a little bit of trouble in the SMP industry because we're having a lot of artists basically being able to get certified under trainers that are not really good trainers because they themselves they just couldn't figure out how the whole S&P business works. So pretty much from there, those people they try to just get people certified because that's really the only thing they can do to make money. So you really have to watch out with what kind of artist you're going for that fact. But besides that, there isn't really a lot of risks that come with scalp micropigmentation. The biggest thing to look out for is just to make sure that everything on the sanitation side of things is good. So because I mean technically what we are doing with scalp micropigmentation, it's basically a form of tattooing. So it's super important that you understand that everything has to be good on the sanitation side of things. Besides that, in terms of risks, life-threatening risks, there is no other life-threatening risk. That's the only thing. With scalp micropigmentation, all you really need to do is make sure that the place is nice, it's clean, and the artist that you're going to is very reputable. That they have really good work. You want to make sure they're not stealing other artists' work, stuff like that. But besides that, there is not much you have to worry about. In terms of the downtime, a hair transplant, the downtime, I've heard a lot of different, stories from different clients, but on average, the downtime is going to be anywhere from 2 to 4 months. And the reason why is because it is a surgery, as I said, it's something that's really invasive, so it's going to take a little bit longer for you to get healed. They're pretty much cutting small pieces of your scalp and inserting hair follicles from the back of your scalp to the front. So that's going to take a little bit of time to be able to finally heal. There's going to be scarring in the back of your scalp, which also takes some time. So for that reason alone, a hair transplant is going to be more towards a 2 to 4 month range for it to be properly healed. Now, on the scalp micropigmentation side of things, you're looking at anywhere from 2 to 4 days is going to be the downtime. And then from there, it takes about 2 weeks for it to fully heal and for the skin to go through the natural tattoo healing process. So, in terms of the downtime, there's not much on the scalp micropigmentation side of things. But at the same time, as I said, with scalp micropigmentation, it is not hair. So it's tattooing. So that's one thing to really make sure that you know the difference between both of them. Now, in terms of the cost of hair transplant, it really depends where you're going as well. But I mean, right now we got a lot of people flying out to Turkey. I'm just gonna go based off of that price. You know, I've heard anywhere from 2 to 4 thousand is the price. If you're going here in America, you're looking at anywhere from 15 to 20,000, and around the world, you know, that's pretty much the same standard price. So in total, in terms of the actual cost, just because hair transplant it is not guaranteed. A lot of the times you're going to need two separate trips to get a hair transplant, and that's gonna run you anywhere around 8,000 to maybe 30,000 for the full final result. So in terms of the hair transplant, it is a little bit more on the expensive side, but you are going for real hair. So that is something to keep in mind. In terms of the scalp micropigmentation, really depends on the price on the scalp micropigmentation. It really depends on the specific clinic that you go to, but just to be able to give you a rough estimate, you're looking about anywhere from $1 to $5,000. It just depends where you go. It also depends the amount of hair loss that you have and the desired look that you're going for. So based on that, that's pretty much the separate prices. In terms of the scalp micropigmentation, it is a guaranteed hair loss solution, so you pretty much just got to do it in multiple sessions just so you can really create that realistic look. So it really the total price is going to be a set amount of anywhere from 1 to 5,000. Now, in terms of the success rate with a hair transplant, I mean the success rate really depends. It really depends on you, on your body, and your pretty much that's really it's based on person to person. So I cannot tell you an exact amount, but you're looking at about anywhere from 20 to 50% success rate on the first one. By the second one, you're looking at 50 to 80%. So just that is something to keep in mind. In terms of the scalp micropigmentation, the success rate really is 100%, but at the same time, it depends. The reason why I'm saying that it depends is because if you go to someone who is not as experienced, you might have to extend that period to maybe 3 to 4 to 5 sessions, just because a lot of the times whenever a scalp micropigmentation artist is starting, just for safety precautions, they might just extend the sessions so you don't have because they don't know exactly yet how to properly do the pigmentation in 1 to 2 sessions. So in terms of success rate, it's 100% on the scalp micropigmentation. Now, what would I personally recommend now that I gave you all this information? What I recommend is for you to look at yourself in the mirror and really tell yourself the truth and see what you really want. Because if you're going to go down the hair transplant route, it is a lot more invasive, it's a lot more risk, a lot more pricier, but at the same time, it is real hair. Versus if you're going to go down the SMP route, you know, that is a guaranteed more cost effective solution. But, you know, let's be honest here, scalp micropigmentation is not real hair. I always like to make sure every single person that I talk to understands that, because sometimes people come to me, you know, for a phone consultation or in-person consultation, and they think that they're going to be getting, you know, real hair when that's not the case. You know, this is a cosmetic tattoo. Now, it's really up to you what's going to suit you best for your current lifestyle and for what you're going for. And if you have any other questions, just send me a message. If you need help trying to figure out what's the next step for you, just send me a question, and I'll get right back to you. We can set up a free phone consultation where we can at least create a game plan on what is the next step for your hair loss. Now, with all that being said, guys, thank you for tuning in. I'll talk to you soon. And also, if you guys have any other question about anything, just hit the link below and send me a question so I can make another video on it. Anything that I can really do to help you guys out, I'm going to be putting out videos almost every day. Now, with all that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. I will talk to you soon.